How long have the two of you been writing partners?
Barrington and I have been writing together. I would say we're not a traditional writing partnership. We are co-writers on a particular screenplay. And so we've been doing that now for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah,
So summer of 2013?
2013, yes. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So it was about June.
Was it?
Yeah, it was about June when we connected.
So it seems like the two of you are similar but very different in certain styles of writing. Do you think you could partner up with someone that was just like you?
That's a good question. I don't know. I've had very few partnerships in my career. As I mentioned, I'm a journalist by trade, and so usually I work by myself mostly. And this is actually my first feature film screenplay. So it's been an interesting journey, just kind of feeding off of each other. I think our differences do help us. It's opened me up certainly to ideas and concepts and a world that I may not have considered. So I think there is benefit, especially for what we're doing, there is benefit in the differences. There is, we're writing an interracial, intercultural, cross-faith kind of love story. And so our differences, you know, from where we both racially, where we come from, adds to that. It really does. You know, we don't often agree on everything. You know, we have moments where it's like, no, this is the way it's supposed to be, and that's how it's supposed to be. But then, you know, you back up and you think, okay, well, this is something valid and maybe I need to consider it. And so, you know, I take it, you know, some time and like, okay, you remember that thing you were talking about? Let's revisit that. So I think the differences do add to hopefully a deeper complexity of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, writing with somebody who's just like writing with a clone has always been a dream, right? Because somebody's thinking exactly like you're thinking, but you can still be doing one thing while work is happening. And especially if you're somebody who's kind of always a little bit time poor in the various resources. I kind of never have time to worry about the fact that I'm probably money poor because I'm so time poor that I'm always like, oh, where am I going to put these hours? So this idea of, you know, putting something up there and having somebody really understand where you're coming from is this kind of fantasy. But how well would it work, really? I mean, and for something like this, it's like, I know that we have a Persian wedding scene in our script. Janice got in the car and drove to San Diego and went to a Persian wedding show for an entire day and came back with tons of, you know, material and vocabulary words and business cards. And neither me nor my clone would drive to San Diego and go to the Persian wedding show. Like, we would both be kind of introverted, you know, people like I am. So in that way, like, this has been super, you know, it's very complimentary. Would it be the best thing for every script? Maybe not every script, but for this script.
For this script, I think it works. And, you know, and I, you know, I talk about it a lot. I love the work that Barrington does do, and I do enjoy the producing side of things. So it's like, whatever she wants to do producing, I can produce it. I may not write with her, but I believe in the kind of work that she does, the kinds of characters that she puts out. And so if that was something, those are ways that I would love to try to work with her some more. But, you know, like, my next script is completely different with, you know, it's a musical and it's religious based, and it takes a different kind of a different look and a different exploration that I don't even think Barrington would have an interest in. So,
I'll have an interest in coming to see it. It sounds awesome.
She'll be there opening night.
And I'm already interested in, like, seeing who maybe you partner up with, because I mean, there's got to be so many interesting people in the world who are involved with that kind of thing.
Yeah. So.
But I think with any partnership, it's always about, a marriage, a writing partnership, anything. It's about kind of looking and seeing what you have and how those pieces fit together. And I feel like we've managed to come up with a pretty good jigsaw cut that works for us.
Because there was just a best friends day or whatever it was, and I have a lot of personal best friends who I grew up with, but then I realized, Barrington's my best friend, writing friend. I don't have a relationship with another writer in the way that I have with Barrington. I mean, we've now traveled together a couple of times. We spend a lot of time together here, and she has keys to my home, and she comes in, she's like, I'm home. So we're kind of, a good little marriage, as she was saying. So she is someone whose work I value, whose opinions matter to me, and the relationship is important even beyond the writing of it. So I think that's what makes me really want to continue to work with her in some kind of way. It may not be a writing kind of way, but definitely she's stuck with me.
Well, I think one thing that's nice about a partnership that works is when you present an idea and you feel safe telling the other person that idea, even if they don't like it. So what works best for the two of you? Is it the blunt, what? Sorry, excuse my language, this sucks, I don't like it? Or, what, could we see if it works like this over here? How does that work between the two of you?
I think we're doing that now. There's some sticking points on some things, and we're just like, she's like, okay, I'm going to leave you to this. I'll come back in a couple of days and let's talk about it. And so I do think that, I'm a woman with very strong opinions about a lot of things. And there are things that I feel or intuit in a way that maybe Barrington doesn't. So then I take what she's said and go, okay, I see where she's coming from and I still don't agree, or I see where she's coming from and let's see how this works. And so it has been I think the thing that, to back up, I think the thing that I've learned about this partnership and really we both want to try to make the best product that we can, and I think that's the core of it. And so when she says something and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But then I have to step back, sometimes in the moment or sometimes after, and go, you know what, that thing you were talking about, it gave us some consideration. Let's see how this goes and see how this plays out. And so we're going through that now with a particular scene where we're like, why is this scene like this? Why should we do it like this? I like it this way, she likes it this way. And we're just kind of trying to figure it out. And I think the thing that wins is what we both feel makes it the better story.
Right, because, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think, I guess, to respond to your question, I think we always try to start with a place of, well, I don't know, how do you think this would work? Or, what if it was this way? And then there's kind of a spectrum of that. There's the beginning of the conversation, and then there's like 10 o'clock at night where you're just like, yeah, no, it's not going to work.
Right. Filters off, yeah.
But overall, I mean, I think we do have a pretty good rapport where we go back and forth a little bit, and when it's sticky, we take a little time, we come back together. Sometimes we duke it out, and we haven't had to resort to flipping coins yet. So
no, we haven't.
I like the spectrum analogy because it seems like with any great partnership, you have to be in a place where you're not afraid of hurting one another's feelings, but you don't do it in a way that really wounds someone. And I think that's a real decision maker with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
I
just
trust.
knowing that place.
I think the thing that it comes down to is that I trust Barrington, and I think that's important. I know she, when she first came on to help me with the outline, the one thing that I found really revealing about Barrington was that she took care of, she was thoughtful about what she wanted to do and about the characters, and inquired and wanted to know. And so it may, like, this may not have been a project she was like, oh yeah, I'm really gonna co-write this with you right now. It started off as I'm a journalist who wrote a book. She had screenwriting experience, and she was going to help me develop an outline that looked the way it was supposed to when I presented it to a production company. And it was through that process where I think for me it was really, I think I can work with this person. Are you interested in working with a novice like me? And so I think trust was a big deal for me. And I felt like she was somebody that I could open up to and be comfortable knowing, because she now knows all my little ugly secrets and the beautiful ones and the really wacky ones. And I feel like I can trust her with that part of me, so I can also trust her with this thing that I've kind of conceived, but we're birthing it together.